Hi guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving my grades on the 2025 first round results of the NFL draft. So this was quite the weird draft. I feel like there's a lot of unexpected picks, especially in the first round, with people slipping like Shedeur and people jumping up into the first round, or teams or players that we didn't expect to go that high, stuff like that. To start off, obviously, the Tennessee Titans had pick number 1. I give that, I would say, just an A. I mean, the Titans are a pretty quarterback-needy team. Will Levis, that whole trial didn't really work out. Obviously, the quarterback class isn't as strong as last year, so where it's not like a definite A+. And, he's not really considered the best, prospect coming out. But overall, it fits their needs. It fits their future, and so overall just makes sense. I mean, it's a safe pick in a sense with round 1, pick 1, to where you go the most important position. So, and then pick 2, Travis Hunter going to the Jaguars. I give this an A+. Obviously the Jaguars had to give up, a little bit of capital for the future, but you're coming across a generational talent. You only jumped up 3 spots. You gave up a good amount of picks and stuff like that, but like I said, generational prospect. It's the first time we've seen a pure two-way player come out, where he's looking to play, every snap, basically on both sides of the ball. So it's definitely a unique prospect. I think it's a pretty self-explanatory A+. The Giants with Abdul Carter at pick 3. I'm gonna give this a B. I don't think this is their biggest need, but at the same time, it is probably. You could argue it's probably maybe the best or most NFL-ready prospect coming out. So I think it's, the reason it's not an A is because that's not their most important position of need. So I think it's just solid. Pick 4 with the Patriots going Will Campbell. I give this an A. Will Campbell, I'd say an A- actually. Will Campbell, there's some concerns regarding his arm length and stuff like that, but I mean, you need to protect Drake May. You gave him weapons in free agency and stuff like that, so now it's just time to protect him and build a future. And then Browns with pick 5 going Mason Graham. I'll give this a C. I don't really know what the thought process was. I mean, you traded down. You had a generational prospect sitting on your lap and you trade down. It's not that I don't like Mason Graham. I'm just not sure that his best fit is in Cleveland. But at the same time, I guess you do get a good interior player that you could pair next to Myles Garrett. So I think it could be worse, but at the same time, it could have been a lot better. And then 6, Ashton Jeanty going to the Raiders. I give this a B. Obviously, their running back core is one of the worst in the league, if not the worst, before Jeanty arrived. But at the same time, you're spending a top 10 pick on a running back, which, I mean, that could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. I mean, obviously, the running back position is trying to, push their way back into relevance and money and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's really worth, a top 10 pick like that. Armand Membu to the Jets. I give this an A. Armand Membu I think is a great player. I have him above Will Campbell. I like a lot what he could do. He kind of has that right tackle, left tackle flexibility. And so I like this for the Jets. I mean, it's not very flashy. I know a lot of people don't like to see their teams draft offensive linemen, but it is important. You are protecting Fields. You drafted Olu Fashanu last year, and so you are protecting, whoever is the quarterback of the future with that piece. And then 8, Ted McMillan to the Panthers. I give this a B+. You need to give him more weapons, but at the same time, you did invest, or I guess technically you traded up into the first round last year for Leggett, but I mean, Tet is a great option. Bryce is technically smaller, and Tet is 6'4", so gives him a jump ball type of guy if he needs it. Kelvin Banks to the Saints. I'm gonna give this a B-. I wasn't sure that they were gonna go this route, and I know they need, offensive line, but it feels like every year the Saints are taking an interior or a trench piece, whether it be offense or defense. It comes to a point where I don't even know if it comes down to the specific player, but it might just be the organization who just can't evaluate talent on the offense. I mean, you traded up for Trevor Penning a few years back, and now you're investing another first-round top 10 pick in the offensive lineman. I hope it works out, but I don't know. Colson Lovin going to the Bears. I give this a C plus. I mean, a tight end is a position of need, and Ben Johnson likes to get creative, but I mean, I'm not even sure that he was the best tight end on the board. I mean, Tyler Warren is a great piece. I mean, Lovin may fit their scheme better, but at the same time, taking a tight end top 10 has not worked out over the last few years. We've seen Kyle Pitts, who's kind of just mediocre. Everyone's been waiting for his breakout season, but it's never came, so I don't know. We'll see how this pans out. Mykel Williams to the 49ers. I give this a B+. I like this a lot. I think he'll pair great with Nick Bosa on the offensive line. Obviously, you dropped or cut, your edge rushers in the free agency, hoping to land Joey Bosa, but you invested in Mykel Williams to get you a rookie contract, get you a good edge rushing piece, so I like that. Tyler Booker at 12 to Dallas. I'm going to give this just a B. You need interior offensive linemen, there's no doubt about that, but I don't know. I think it was kind of a little unexpected. A lot of people thought they were going to go other directions, but I mean, I do like what Tyler Booker's about, his play style and stuff like that, his attitude. But I don't know. I think it was a little early for him, but I don't hate the pick overall. I think it does fit what Dallas wants. Kenneth Grant to the Dolphins. I'm giving this a C. I mean, you lost Christian Wilkins, last year in free agency, but I wasn't sure that Kenneth Grant was going to be, a top 20 pick, let alone be a top 15 pick. It came as a surprise. I think it was a little bit of a reach, but it is a position of need for them. Tyler Warren to the Colts. I'm giving this an A+. I mean, he's the perfect scheme fit. They need tight end desperately. You get Anthony Richardson, another weapon. He's also run block for Jonathan Taylor. I think he was the best fit for Warren possible, and they sat at 14. I wasn't even sure he was going to fall to 14, and they sat here at 14 and selected him, so I think it works out. Jalon Walker to Falcons at 15. I'm going to give this an A. I think Raheem Morris can coach Jalon Walker a lot of different ways. He has a lot of versatility. I thought he was going to go 8 to the Panthers, I believe, in my mock. So I was a little surprised when he fell all the way down. But I do like... I like the scheme fit. I think it works out for the Falcons. And then Walter Nolan at 16. I'm going to give this a B+. I do like Walter Nolan a lot in the interior. I did have a first-round grade on him. I was a little unsure where to put him. But I ended up going with the Cardinals, and so I think it works out a lot. 17, Shamar Stewart to the Bengals. I'm going to give this a B. It's an edge rushing piece. They need it. You don't know the future with Trey Hendrickson yet. But he does need a lot of work. But, I mean, they get an edge rush piece, so it just works out. Gray Zabel, 18 to the Seahawks. This one's tough for me, because I like Gray Zabel, but I wasn't sure if I expected him to go this early. Therefore, I'm going to give it a C+. They needed interior offensive linemen really bad. But, I mean, 18, I think I had him going somewhere in the 26 up type of range. But overall, I mean, it is, if you believe in a player, you take him. I think a C+ is a valid grade. 19, Emeka Egbuka to the Bucks. I'm going to give this a D. I mean, you re-signed Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is still there. And McMillan looked really good last year, and so I was not expecting this pick at all from them. Especially with Jahdae Barron, going to pick next after them. I feel like they could have used a corner a lot more. But, I mean, I guess for the future, it could work. I guess Godwin's future is a little bit, questionable. But I think you could have waited to address that in the future rather than now. But, I mean, they'll make it work, I'm sure. I mean, I think he's a great player. I just wasn't expecting that there. And I think it was a little bit of a reach for him. Jahdae Barron to the Broncos. I'm giving this a B+. I like Jahdae Barron a lot. You pair him up with Patrick Surtain, you can put him in the slot. I think he's going to be a great player. I think he's going to add and bolster that defense even more. I think it was already a great defense, and, adding a piece like him, I think, goes a long way. I think he will make an impact. I mean, you're going to have Riley Moss, Surtain, and now Barron. So I think that corner core is pretty stacked. And you addressed a lot of question marks in free agency as well. You added Hufanga. I mean, that secondary and that defense is going to be, not one you want to mess with next year. Derek Harmon to the Steelers. I'm going to give this an A. I like Derek Harmon a lot. I think he's a great piece. I was actually hoping that Harmon or Walter Nolan ended up in Pittsburgh, so I do like the scheme fit. I think he's going to pair well in that position in Pittsburgh. And so overall, for me, it's just a clean A type of selection. You didn't reach on a player of his caliber. He's a good player. He'll fit the scheme. I think he's going to have a long career there. 22, Omarion Hampton to the Chargers. I'm giving this an A+. I know a lot of people I think might have been surprised with Hampton being a first-round pick. But if you turn on the tape, he's a great player. Harbaugh's going to want to run that ball, and Hampton can run the ball. I think when you look at the comparison, I'm not saying discrediting Genty, but I think at the pick and the value that you picked at, I think Hampton was the better selection. Just because, reaching on a running back in top with pick 6 is a little bit of a reach, but getting someone of his caliber at pick 22, I think, is huge. Hampton, I think, is going to be a great running back, so I just love the fit, the pick, and the spot, like where he went, and everything like that. Matthew Golden to the Packers, I'm going to give this a B+. You needed to add a weapon. I'm hoping they could find a scheme for him. Because, the receiving core is pretty loaded of talent. But everyone knows the Packers needed a true one, or at least add a speedy kind of weapon, and Golden does fit that. I was a little surprised he went to Green Bay, but all offseason, everyone's been saying the Packers need a receiver one, and I think you might have found him. Donovan Jackson to the Vikings. I'm just going to give this a B. It's not flashy, it's interior. I don't think he was going to go in the first round, but I'm not surprised. I think he is still a good player. I'm just a little surprised that he went, where he did. But I still like him a lot, so I give it a B on this one. Jackson Dart to the Giants. I'm going to give this a C. I do like Dart a lot, but you did trade up a long way for it. It's tough just because you jumped so far up, and I wasn't totally sure. The way the quarterback class got selected this year really, tosses me off. With Gabriel being a third-round pick, I was expecting him to be in, the 6th round. And then Dart shooting all the way up, Shedeur falling all the way down. It's kind of hard for me to evaluate, is this where he would have gone if if you didn't trade up here, would the Rams would have taken him at pick 26? That's a lot of what if. For me, I'm going to say no, but there was a solid chance. So for me, it's a little hard to, fully kind of guess what would have happened. So I feel like a C. I'm not saying he's a C player, but where it is and where he got selected, I'm giving it a C. James Pierce Jr. to the Falcons. I'll give this a C-. I wasn't totally high on Pierce. I know he's got a lot of physicals, but I am concerned about his, attitude and stuff like that off the field. And going to Atlanta, I'm not sure that's the best place for him to be. I think he's going to be a good player, but I don't love the pick for them. And what they had to give up to go and get him. Your next year's first, I think that really has a chance to be a top 10 pick next year. I'm not totally, sure if the Penix, situation is going to work out. There's a lot of question marks with the Falcons. Their defense is going to be good, but I don't know if their offense is going to have the, sustainability to be good all year long. Malachi Starks to the Ravens. I'm giving this an A+. I love Malachi Starks. Pick 27 to me was kind of insane. I was not expecting him to fall all the way down that far. Starks, I think, is the better fit out of the two safeties between him and Nick Emmanwori. And I'm saying I think they're, pretty similar on talent level, but scheme fit-wise, I think Starks fits Baltimore way better. So I love the pick for them there. You're upgrading your secondary, adding to your defense. I think it's a good piece for them. Tyleik Williams to the Lions. I'm giving this an A. I know a lot of people probably didn't have him as a first-round pick. It was more like a early second to mid-second. But Tyleik is just a run-stuffing interior D-tackle, and that's exactly what they needed. Their defense just got so much stronger. Tyleik's going to add some versatility to that defensive line. It's going to be way more scary now. You're going to have him, Lee McNeil, Hutchinson, and, I think the talent that they just added to that defensive line is insane. Josh Connolly Jr. to the Commanders. I'm going to give this a B+. You added in another tackle. You're providing more protection for Jaden Daniels. Makes a lot of sense. I wasn't totally sure. I knew he was going to go in this range, but you pick at 29. honestly contemplating someone like maybe the Chiefs would have jumped up to try and snag him. But I think it makes a lot of sense. The Commanders stay at 29, get their guy, and it's just overall a solid pick for them. Maxwell Hairston to the Bills. This one was hard for me because I knew he was that fringe kind of first-round player. But when you look at his combine and some of this other stuff, I mean, he looks like a hell of an athlete. He has some injury concerns, but, I mean, when you turn on the tape when he is playing, he's a great player. So for that, I'm going to give him a B. I think it's a safe pick. You're getting a great athlete. You're bolstering your secondary. And honestly, I hate to say it. I mean, I think this does kind of have some boomer bust potential. But where you picked him at, I'm willing to take that for Buffalo. Jihad Campbell to the Eagles, I give this an A+. I know he's got some concerns with injuries or whatnot. But, I mean, I was expecting him to go way earlier than this. I was willing to look over the injury concerns. I think he's a great player. Bond is not on the longest of contracts, but he could still learn under him for at least a year. And I hate to say it, but I can't believe, Howie Roseman was able to almost sit where he was at. I mean, he traded up one spot, but he basically sat where he was at, traded up one spot, gave up pick 168, I believe, and landed a great player just to secure him. I don't know how Howie Roseman could just sit at the draft and keep landing great players over and over. And then for the Chiefs, Josh Simmons, I'm going to give this a B. Or B-, I'm going to say. I mean, Josh Simmons, I think, is what they needed. I mean, in the Super Bowl, the Eagles' defensive line ran all over him. I'm not totally sure if he was a first-round talent type of player, but is still what they need. It kind of fits their future. You got to protect Mahomes. I mean, I think it comes down to it. If you can give Mahomes a clean pocket, he can make anyone look good. But, I mean, both times he's lost in the Super Bowl, to the Bucs and now to the Eagles. I mean, I think it's the same thing both times. He got ran over. The offensive line was lackluster. He didn't have time to go through his progressions. But if you can buy him that time, I mean, he's going to keep doing what he's doing. So I think it does kind of fit what they need. And overall, yeah. So that is my results on the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Please let me know down below what you guys think. What would you guys change? Did you wish your team got a different player? Stuff like that. And yeah, so thank you guys.